समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
शांति शांति शांति।
स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
नमामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्रयवतु गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्। ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय ॐ नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवमुतोर्दैशवे नमः नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुदते नमः या तैषु शिवतमा शिवं बभूव ते तनुः शिवा शरव्याया तव तया नो रुद्रमृडया या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशं ताभिजागशीः यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते विभक्ष्यस्तवे शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि पुंसि पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा वागिरिशाच्चावदामसि यदा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत् अद्य वोचदति भक्ता प्रथमो नैव्योऽभिषत् अहीतुश्च सर्वान् जम्बयन् सर्वाश्च यातु नान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागुं रुद्रा अवितो दिक्षु श्रुताः सहस्रशो वैशाखुं हेडयीमहे असौ योपसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वा भूतानि स दृष्टो मृडयादिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीडुषे अतो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्चदन्वनस्त्वमुभयोराग्नियोज्या याश्च ते हस्तैषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतत्यदनुस्त्वगुं सहस्रांशशतेषु ते निशीर्य शल्यानां शिवो नः सुमना भवा विज्यं दनुःखपर्दिनो विशल्यो मानवागुं हुता अनेशन्नस्येषव आमुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मीदुष्टमहस्ते बभूव ते गनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधायानादकाय कृष्णवे उवाभ्यामुदते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अतो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निदेहितम् नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। 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 शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
गजानना हे शुभानना गजानना हे शुभानना
दया करो हे दयानिधे हे भगवान करो हे दयानिधे हे भगवान दया करो हे दयानिधे तन मन धन सब चरण तुम्हारे
तन मन धन सब चरण तुम्हारे
तन मन धन सब चरण तुम्हारे
तन मन धन सब शरण तुम्हारे
दया करो हे दयानिधि हे भगवान
दया करो हे दयानिधि सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी शाम्भवी शङ्करी दुर्गा भवानी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी अखिलाण्डेश्वरी राजराजेश्वरी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी माता महेश्वरी नारायणी सदा शिवरञ्जनी साई जननी साई बाबा प्रणाम साई बाबा प्रणाम साई बाबा प्रणाम साई बाबा प्रणाम शिरडी बाबा प्रणाम शिरडी बाबा प्रणाम शिरडी बाबा प्रणाम प्रणाम।
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
रविकुल मंडन असुर निखंडन
रविकुल मंडन असुर निखंडन
रविकुल मंडन
असुर निखंडन
अलख निरंजन रामा
अलख निरंजन
साई अलख निरंजन रामा
साई अलख निरंजन
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
रविकुल मंडन असुर निखंडन
मंडन असुर निखंडन
अलख निरंजन रामा
अलख निरंजन रामा
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जय भुवनेश्वर राघव सुंदर
जानकी जीवन राम रघुवीर
क्षीराभिषयना नारायण क्षीराभिषयना नारायण क्षीराभिषयना नारायण क्षीराभिषयना नारायण श्रीलक्ष्मी रमणा नारायण श्रीलक्ष्मी रमणा नारायण
शंकरा 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 साई शंकरा साई शंकरा साई शंकरा नाद शरीरा वेदोद्धारा नाद शरीरा वेदोद्धारा नाद शरीरा वेदोद्धारा नाद शरीरा वेदोद्धारा कलियुग अवतारा साई कलियुग अवतारा साई कलियुग अवतारा कलियुग अवतारा हर शिव शंकर साई शिव शिव शंकर साई 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 चंद्रशेखरा साई परती 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 शंकर साई शंकरा 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 साई शंकरा नाद शरीरा वेदोद्धारा शरीरा वेदोद्धारा कलियुग अवतारा साई कलियुग अवतारा हर शिव शंकर साई शिव शिव शंकर साई हर शिव शंकर साई शिव शिव शंकर साई चंद्रशेखरा साई परती 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 शंकर साई शंकरा शंकरा विठ्ठल भजो साई विठ्ठल भजो 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 राम कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा राम कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा राधिका रमण माधवा राधिका रमण माधवा हरे राम हरे कृष्ण सीता राम राघवा 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 राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा राधिका रमण माधवा राधिका रमण माधवा राम कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा हरे राम हरे कृष्ण सीता राम राघवा हरे राम हरे कृष्ण सीता राम राघवा राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा राधिका रमण माधवा जय रंगा देवा राधिका रमण माधवा राधिका रमण माधवा राम कृष्ण गोविंद नारायण केशवा हर बोला नाथा उमापते शंभो शंकर पशुपते हर बोला नाथा उमापते शंभो शंकर पशुपते हर बोला नाथा उमापते शंभो शंकर पशुपते हर बोला नाथा उमापते शंभो शंकर पशुपते
पतित पावन राम पतित पावन राम पतित पावन राम पतित पावन राम परतिपुरीश्वर राम परतिपुरीश्वर पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पतित पावन राम पतित पावन राम दानव भंजन राम दशरथ नंदन 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 राम पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पतित पावन राम पतित पावन राम परतिपुरीश्वर पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन दानव भंजन राम दशरथ नंदन राम दानव भंजन राम दशरथ नंदन राम पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम तारक नाम पाप विमोचन पावन नाम पतित पावन शांति शांति शांति
With loving pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet, my dear sisters and brothers, it gives me great pleasure to stand before you today to share a few of my thoughts and experiences with the fond hope that it will help all of us to move forward in our journey towards a goal which all of us are but pilgrims of. Several times when devotees would come to Bhagwan, Bhagwan would fondly ask them, why have you come to Puttaparthi? Several times when devotees would ask Bhagwan, Swami, which sadhana is good for me? Swami would say, why do you want to do the sadhana? And several times when people would ask Swami, what are the ways by which we can come to you? Swami would say, why do you want to know these ways? And invariably, 99.9% of the time, the answer would be, Swami, we want to be close to you. We want to feel your presence. We want to be one with you. And today my talk will be centered around this beautiful aspect behind which each one of us is pursuing a sadhana, and that is, why do we want to be close to Bhagwan? I would like to begin with a small experience which Professor Kasturi had with Bhagwan. Bhagwan was going to Varanasi. Varanasi, also known as Kashi, like you know. It's one of the holiest of cities for Indians. Many people hope fondly that they depart their earthly sojourn from Varanasi, the abode of Lord Shiva. And for a very long time, Professor Kasturi thought that he must ask Bhagwan for some kind of a mantra. A mantra, which he said, my guru should give me this mantra, and he was fondly hoping that Bhagwan will give him this mantra. So instead, Swami kept putting him off, and one day when he was going to Varanasi, he called Professor Kasturi and said, Kasturi, get ready, I am going to Varanasi and you come with me. So Professor Kasturi's joys knew no bounds. He said, Varanasi is the holy place where I fondly hope, that this holy place will be the place where Bhagwan will give me that mantropadesha. What greater good fortune is there for me? So he got ready and he went to Varanasi with Bhagwan. And invariably, wherever Bhagwan would be seated for the meal session, dining sessions, or any program, Professor Kasturi would be made to sit right next to Swami. And one day went, 2 days went, Bhagwan was showing no signs of giving anything called the mantra. So Professor Kasturi was really very, very anxious now. So then he said, okay, Ekadasi is coming, perhaps Swami will give me on this holy day in Varanasi. So on Ekadasi day morning, 4 o'clock, he went, had a cold dip in the river Ganges, smeared vibhuti nicely over his forehead, and he came and sat next to her. And he said, today's Ekadasi, I will fast, so that, Swami will give me the mantra. And until he gives me the mantra, I am going to continue fasting. So breakfast time came. Swami used to sit on the ground while eating in those days. So Swami was seated, and next to him, Professor Kasturi was seated. Everybody was eating, Professor Kasturi was not eating. Now here, those of us who have experienced Swami as close quarters will know that when we have a strong desire with Bhagwan, he is a master at ensuring that it gets put off. He will engineer situations in such a way, that it just doesn't come. While your anxiety levels and your blood pressure keeps going up. Why not coming, and all that. Swami had started that game with Professor Kasturi. So it's already the third day, still no sign of the mantram. Ekadasi was opening, and Professor Kasturi decided, like Bhishma Pratignya we say, he said, I'm not going to touch my food till Swami gives me the mantra. Breakfast time came, nice variety of meals were being served, vada, upma, whatever you name it. Everybody around was taking first helping, second helping, third helping. Professor Kasturi is not eating. Now he is sitting right next to Swami. There is no ghost of a chance that Swami has not noticed this. But Swami won't talk. And he won't talk. Then lunch came, Professor Kasturi is still fasting. Same, he was sitting next to Swami once again. So many varieties of dishes were being served. Everybody was eating. Professor Kasturi is not eating. Swami still doesn't say anything. Then comes dinner finally. Professor Kasturi has reached the edge of his patience. And he has literally, in despair what to do. And then Swami is sitting next to him. And this time Swami must have thought poor Kasturi had had enough. So still nothing is eating. Then Swami asked Kasturi, Em Kasturi, em tinatledu. What Kasturi, you're not eating anything. Then so he swallowed a big sob and said, Swami, the mantra. And Swami said, what mantra? He said, Swami, I prayed to you from the bottom of my heart that I want a mantra from you. And Varanasi, when you told me I'm coming, I was hoping that you will give me the mantra here. But there is still no mantra. And then Swami looked at him and said, what do you need a mantra for? He said, Swami, I want to get close to you. And Swami looked down. Swami's thigh was literally on Kasturi's thigh. And Swami said, how much more closer do you want to get? But in this incident, there is actually a wonderful illustration which I still remember when Professor Kasturi narrated to us. He said, is it the physical proximity that Swami is looking at? Many of us go to Swami saying that, we want to be physically close to you. We want to enjoy every moment we have with you. Swami gives us exactly those kind of experiences. He gives us exactly those kind of teachings. Some of us want to see Swami in the real ethereal form. Swami gives them exactly that experience. He treats them also accordingly. That's why he is called the Jagat Guru. The mantra depends upon how we want to see ourselves being associated with Swami. Accordingly, the mantra comes. And if there are 100 people who have 100 different choices by which they want to experience Bhagwan, he will have 100 different lessons for them. So that's why he is called the Jagat Guru. That is also the reason why he attracted so many people to come and have his darshan, have his sparshan, and have sambhashan with him, crave for his sambhashan. So therefore, in our actions which are directed, everything that we do in the Samiti or in our homes, we have only one purpose, and that is, we want the bliss of proximity with Bhagwan, proximity in inverted brackets. When I say proximity, like I said, it can be a physical, it can be spiritual, it can be at the atmic level, any level, whatever we want. So, but whatever we do, any pujas that we do, any homas that we do, any japas that we do, seva activities that we do, they all have only this one particular edge in mind. Since I never considered myself at that level where I can still associate myself at atmic level with Bhagwan, I would like to share some simple processes extracted from Bhagwan's discourses which could possibly help each one of us how to get close to Bhagwan. This is also Bhagwan's own saying. There are 4 important sayings that he gives. Tyaja durjana samsargam, bhaja sadhu samagamam, kuru punyam ahoratrim, smara nityam anityatam. Now, I'll explain it, so there's no need to look startled. So first, let us look at the first one. Tyaja durjana samsargam. Tyaja durjana samsargam means give up bad company. Now, this is what the translator, Professor Nanjundiya, translated when Swami first told us this. Swami stopped, looked at him and sternly said, don't give up. Run away from evil company. Just run. That's it. No giving up. That is the significance Swami places on us keeping away from bad company. Now, obviously, here comes who is a Durjana. One very common thing which possibly every one of us was guilty of at some point of time or the other. Whenever things go wrong with us or whenever negative emotions get evoked in us, we always blame 2 things. Either somebody else or the environment. One of these 2 is always blamed for the situation in which we are. One of them is always blamed for the negative emotions that arise in us. That's a human nature. And part of the sadhana is exactly to avoid this particular pitfall. So the real Durjana is what? I would like to give a small illustration which Bhagwan has once told. There was a sadhu who was strictly trying to control his emotions and he was trying to gain mastery over his anger and other things. So, but every time he would sit in meditation, he selected the path of meditation. So, every time he would sit and meditate, somebody or other would come and disturb him. Either kids would be playing in the road and he would get upset and he would go inside. The moment he goes inside, somebody will be shouting outside, he will get disturbed once again. So, he said, being in the society is not working out for me. Let me go to the forest. So, there he was doing meditation, and because it was deep in the forest, he kept a pot of water next to him. In case he is thirsty, he would drink from it. But the pot was not standing still, it was going on falling. So the first time it fell down, he filled water again and put it there. And he went into meditation. Suddenly it fell down once again. Again he filled water and put it there. Went into meditation. Third time again it fell down. This time he got furious. He took the pot, lifted it and smashed it to the floor in anger. But when the pot broke, so did the illusion in him. Now he realized where the anger was coming. There was nobody around him to invoke that angry feeling. But yet, he expressed that anger. And in that moment, realization hit him. These vices from which he was trying to escape were not being given by somebody else. They were not being given by the environment. They were already within him. So which means wherever he goes, they will go with him. Possibly even to his grave. if he doesn't be smart enough to get rid of them before that. So therefore, the real Durjana is invariably always within us. It is neither the environment nor anybody else who creates that or evokes those evil emotions within us. So, because at some point of time, we allow them to enter into our character, into our heart. So that is why they have become a part of our nature. Because Swami once said very clearly, he said, nothing can enter into you that is alien to your nature. The nature of the human soul is purity. It is purity in action, thought, word, deed, everything. So anything that is you consider as impure is not natural to you. It has entered into you because you allowed it to enter. Now comes the environment. So we cannot blame any person because we are getting angry about something, because that anger has traveled with us. It is already within us. So what about environment? Is the environment responsible in some way for evoking these negative emotions within us? I don't know whether maybe we should call it a humorous incident or not. Mr. Chiranjeevi Rao used to have some very funny interactions with Bhagwan. I don't know how many of you know Mr. Chiranjeevi Rao. He was, I'm assuming most of you know. He was a very senior office bearer, and he used to look after the ashram and other things. So for any communication with Bhagwan, he would invariably be the person who would carry that thing, if he wishes, that is. So once he was talking to Bhagwan and he was telling Swami, there is something funny I have to share with you. What? Swami said. And he said, Swami, the other day I was hearing some people grumble in the office about the ashram. Swami said, what are they grumbling about? He said, Swami, they said, wherever we go, people are shouting, screaming at us all the time. Now you go to the accommodation office, people are shouting at you there. You go to the canteen, people are shouting at you there. You go to Darshan, Sevadal are shouting at you there. Everywhere, people are shouting and so much of negativity is there. How is this even an environment of an ashram? How are we to pursue our spiritual pursuit in such an environment? Why is it that this kind of an environment should exist here in the first place? Swami's answer was a masterstroke, really. He just looked at Mr. Chiranjeevi Rao very deeply and he said, no environment that you encounter is there by accident. It is by deliberate design of the divine will. It's by deliberate design of the divine will. Swami said, unless this kind of an environment, see, let us put it this way, would anybody be so foolish as to apply a bandage on their hand? First, a wound has to take place, only then you will apply the bandage. So, first and foremost, people have to do a SWOT analysis of themselves in today's management terms. What are my weaknesses? It is the environment that brings the weaknesses out of us in the first place. So if we are feeling irritation, I'm sure many of us have this feeling. Sometimes we go to the office and we see, I hope I don't meet this fellow today. My day is ruined otherwise. Or, I hope this particular topic is not raised for discussions today. It puts me off for the whole day. Right? And you can rest assured we will meet that person and that topic will be raised. Now, the reason for this is what Swami said. No environment is by accident. It is by divine design only. What does he mean by that? He said, see, unless this kind of an environment is presented to you, you will not realize what is the weakness inside you. So if you are expressing anger, that is a weakness already in you. First, you have to realize that. If you are feeling irritation at feeling somebody, at seeing somebody, that damage is already there in you, that flaw is already there within you. So first and foremost, the environment is created so that what flaws are there in our character is first brought out. The next part of that is a sadhana. How do we overcome it? The first part of the sadhana is realization that something is wrong with us. If we have not even realized that something is wrong with us, then God help us. But when somebody realizes that, yes, if I'm feeling angry, if I'm feeling hatred, if I'm feeling jealousy, these are the flaws in me, and the environment around me has brought this out, the next step is obviously to root it out of our system. So that's why Swami said, no environment is there by accident, it is purely by divine design. It is a support which Bhagavan is providing us to take the first step in first identifying what the problem with us is all about. Therefore, Tyachat Durjana Samsargam is basically first and foremost to identify the flaws and the Arshad Vargas there within us. and run away from them. How do we run away from them? That is part sadhana is all about. The second part is bhaja sadhu samagamam. Means always keep associating with sadhu jivis. Crave the association of sadhu jivis. Obviously, if the durjanas are within us, sadhu jivis also must be within us. Creation itself is an association of positive and negative. So if negative is there within us, positivity also must be there within us. So the sadhu jivis also are very much within us. And this is what Swami mentions, the topic of the spiritual heart. Because the spiritual heart is where the sadhu jivis are residing within us. Why is it that we are not able to hear them? Because sadhu jivis can be heard only in the depth of silence. If chaos reigns around us, if negative emotions are burning through us, we can never realize the presence of the sadhu jivis. That doesn't mean that they are not there. They are very much there. That's why Swami says many times, in the depth of silence can you hear the voice of God. Depth of silence. If there is chaos and there is noise all around us, God will simply take a back seat. That's it. He is not the one who will compete with chaos to make himself heard. He will wait for the chaos to die down and then he will act. So this is the spiritual heart where the sadhu jivis within us reside. And Swami once compared to the spiritual heart to a single seat sofa. I don't know how many of you would have heard in discourses. Swami said your heart is a single seat sofa. Either God resides there or the world resides there. If the world resides, God vacates. If God resides, the world will have to vacate. So therefore, the single seat sofa is where the spiritual heart is, and that is where the sadhu jivi is sitting. And that's why Swami says, keep that very, very clean. First step has to be taken. What is this? Run away from evil company. We have to run away from the durjanas first, then the second step follows. Bhaju sadhu samagamam will follow naturally. That is in the spiritual heart, Bhagwan residing. I still remember in 1989, I think about 36 of us, we were going to Kodaikanal. And Bhagwan had purchased a brand new bus for the 36 of us. And he was, like a proud parent shows a child. He said, before we left the previous day, he called all of us and said, pointed at the bus and said, brand new bus, I got it for you people. All 36 of you can sit there comfortably. Then Swami said, then he said, but if all 36 of you are sitting, if I want to sit, where will I sit? And we were carried away in the throes of devotion. We said, Swami, the entire bus is yours. You can sit wherever you want. And Swami said, what will I do with a lifeless bus? Why don't you say, you are mine? So that I can sit in your heart and instead of 36, 72 of us can travel in the same bus. Lifeless things never made any sense to him. It was always our heart that he asked for. He was never interested in how many riches we are bringing him. He was never interested in how many bhajans we were doing, how many seva activities we were doing. If we were not giving him place in our heart, he had absolutely no use for all of this. So that day his face actually fell when he said, what will I do with a lifeless bus? Why didn't you tell me you are mine? If you tell me you are mine, I will reside in your heart. And wherever you all go, I will come with you. There are 72 of us traveling in the bus. So that is a very, very important position which Bhagavan gives the spiritual heart in each one of us. That's also the very important lesson that he teaches us to keep it as pure as possible. I still remember during one of the Dasara moments, Bhagavan had called a few students inside in the pretext of teaching them how to give talks during Dasara. Now everything has a pretext with Swami. So he says, all of you come in, I'll teach you how to give some tips, of how to give speeches during the Dasara moments. So everybody, no second invitation is required. They all ran inside. And Swami took them to Purnachandra Auditorium. And there he said, Dasara is going to be very strenuous. I've arranged a very small tiffin for you. All of you eat it and then we will start the lessons on how to give a talk. And that small tiffin turned out to be over 15 items. Idlis came, puris came, dosas came, bananas came, everything was going on, coming and, people are going on eating. And, sometimes I see Swami in that pose, you think about just like a mother. No, nothing makes a mother more happy than just seeing a child eat. When the child is relishing and eating, the mother doesn't mind standing however much time it is and going on supplying the food. As long as she knows that the child is enjoying it. So he was watching very nicely. All the kids had eaten. Everybody had eaten. And then Swami wanted to get up. he was looking for some help, but boys couldn't do anything because their hands were all soiled. So they were all hesitating. Swami, how to go and help? Swami grabbed their hands and took their support and got up. That soiled hand itself. And then he said, Chetulu malinavaina paravaledu, manassu malinamavakunda chudandi. Even if your hand is soiled, I have absolutely no issues with it. Just ensure that your heart is not soiled. That these are small instances, wherein you feel so thrilled, about how we heard this from Bhagwan himself. He said, ensure that your soul or heart is not soiled. Even if your hands are soiled, I have no problem with it. He caught those soiled hands and he lifted himself up. So that is the importance that Bhagwan gives to the spiritual heart. So this is the heart where everything that is good in us, everything that Bhagwan has ever gifted us, is all residing over there. And we want to listen to it, we want to use it, then the first part is very important. We need to run away from these negative emotions and this negativity. Now comes the third one. Kuru punyam ahoratrim. Kuru punyam ahoratrim. That means do activities that will get you punya day in and day out. Here, I wish to draw a very, very important parallel between duty and seva. Duty and seva. So, discharging a responsibility with the intent of carrying out a nominated task, that becomes a duty. But doing something from which we gain nothing, but others get the benefit of it, that is seva. So duty is definitely having some amount of selfish interest in it, in the sense that we get something in return, it is for us. Seva, on the other hand, we get nothing in return physically, but it will definitely benefit others. Now, this is a standard definition anybody will give you. Even if you look at the dictionary, this is what they'll tell you. Is it wrong to do duty is the first question. In fact, this question many people ask Swami. I was fortunate enough to hear Swami explain to this. Does it mean that duty should not be done? If duty is not to be done, then who will run this world? So Bhagwan said here, there are 4 purusharthas which all of us know. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. That means every human being who is born, they have to go through this sequence. Okay, what is at the first? Dharma. What is at the end? Moksha. So dharma is very important. With dharma, you must move to Artha. That means whatever you are earning by virtue of your duty, you must do it with dharma. Then Kamya. Kamya means desire. Whatever desires you have, fulfill it with dharma. Without dharma, it is what Ravana did. And if we do all these things, then you get moksha. So none of the purusharthas make sense if the dharma is not given the priority. So duty is very much important and it has to be done. So duty is dharma while seva gives punyam. Put it in another way, Bhagwan used to say, duty is for ihalokam, seva is for paralokam. Duty is for ihalokam, seva is for paralokam. That means duty basically helps us to get rid of our karmic balance. The more duty we do with dharma, the more karmic balance starts evaporating from our balance and the closer we approach to the goal which we want to go. So what about seva? Seva is a bonus. It gives us an additional bonus which is held in the positive account book for us. Whenever we need to draw, we can draw from that. So sometimes what happens is, we ask, we are in serious requirement of God's grace for something. So sometimes what happens, our own karma is not sufficient for God to give it. So immediately he looks at this. Any punyam in his balance, he takes from that and gives us the grace that we ask for. So therefore, one is for ihalokam, karma, that is duty. Duty done dharmically ensures that our karma is wiped out bit by bit, while seva ensures that we earn punyam so that it is there in our account and it can be used at whichever point we want to do. So this is a very important concept, and Bhagwan often says for this reason, duty is not bad. Duty is a must. As long as we are in this world, duty is a must. We cannot avoid duties and hope to live in this world. We will become a burden on somebody, or we will become a burden on the society. So duty is a must. I still remember some valuable lessons used to take place in the portico in discussions between Bhagwan and faculty members and students. There was one faculty member whom we had who was, it came to Bhagwan's notice that he was not taking classes properly. And so Bhagwan asked him, why is it that you're not taking classes properly? And this faculty member said, Swami, I'm here for you. And then Swami said, if you are here for me, resign from the university, stop taking salary from there and sit here. You can't have one leg there and say, I don't want to do my duty. You cannot have another leg over here. That is like a 2-horse riding, which is dangerous. You will only fall at some stage. So Swami gave him that choice. You can sit here and participate in all the activities that happen in the mandir and do your dhyanam, japam, seva, namasmaran, everything. But if you are in the university, do your duty there also. So it's a very important thing that means it's very conveniently some of us have one leg there and one leg here. When the purpose serves us, we say we are here for Swami. When the purpose serves us otherwise, we say we are there also to earn and do our duty. That's wrong. And Bhagwan says very clearly that is a 2-horse riding. 2-horse riding means it's always dangerous. People are likely to fall and damage something. So this is a very, very important thing that we have to remember. Kuru Punya Mahoratri means therefore we not only have to do our duty with dharma, we also have to do seva to acquire punyam so that both of them will help us to move forward in our life. So one important thing is when we are doing seva, it must be very important for us to understand here that ego plays no role over here. So it is basically the way we should look at it is that we are offering it as a sacred prasadam which we are giving from our side, offering it to Bhagavan as Naivedyam and receiving the results as prasadam. So it is very important that every seva that we do must be with this kind of a noble thought. The reason is very clear. Because God is Bhava Priya. He is not Bahya Priya. He doesn't care, like how many of people had come to do, what is the kind of pomp and show that was exhibited. He is least bothered about all of that. What he says is with what feeling have you done. I still remember one very important lesson, when the super specialty hospital was being built. At that time, several devotees from across the globe came forward to contribute. Many of them, they contributed in thousands and millions of dollars, pounds, rupees, whatever currency they can afford to, okay? But Swami never told us anything about who is contributing what. One instance, however, stands out. One day he came out with a 10 rupee note. A 10 rupee note he came out and he was looking around for somebody and then obviously he saw that person and he said, come here. And that person came forward and Swami said, do you know what this 10 rupee is? That's the 10 rupees which this boy had donated to Swami's fund, Central Trust, for building the hospital. 10 rupees. Swami got it out and showed it to everyone with such pride. Why? This person had written in the letter, Swami, I have the bad habit of buying snacks. I stopped doing that. I've stopped giving the clothes to the washerman. I'm washing it myself. I've stopped giving the clothes to the washerman for ironing. I'm ironing it myself. That way I have saved 10 rupees from my pocket money, and that 10 rupees with all my love and devotion, I'm giving it to you. Please accept it. That 10 rupees was worth more than 10 millions for Bhagwan. Feeling. The noble feeling with which it was given is what moved him. So Bhagwan is always this Bhava Priya. With what emotion we do, with what feeling we do, that is what impresses him, not what is happening outside. Nothing drove home this lesson more than one very lovely experience which I will share with you. You all know that students put up a number of dramas in front of Bhagwan, right? On several occasions, several dramas are put up. And one of these dramas was involved the story of Parikshit. We all know who is Parikshit. Parikshit was a king who was, grandson of Arjuna, Abhimanyu's son. And the Pandavas give him the reins of the empire and they leave. Parikshit was a very noble soul. Obviously, he was protected by Lord Krishna himself. When Ashwatthama releases the Brahmastra with the curse that all the descendants of Pandavas should be destroyed, Sri Krishna puts his Sudarshan Chakra in front of Parikshit. so that the Brahmastra doesn't hit him. So Sudarshan Chakra is more powerful than any astra. So it absorbs that. That is how Parikshit has got survived, and he is born and he is made the king after Pandavas leave for their Vanaprasthya and Sannyasa. They leave the kingdom to him and they go. So even such a noble person like Parikshit, he put a foot wrong. It so happens that once, he is going out into the, I'm just telling you the story which was enacted by, the part of it was enacted by the students. He goes into the forest and there, he gets separated from his army. And he is having pangs of so much of thirst and hunger, that his mouth is dry. And, he's desperately looking for water because he's very thirsty. And then he sees a sage who is doing meditation peacefully under a tree. So he goes to the sage and tells him, oh great sage, please give me some water, I'm very thirsty. The sage is so deep in meditation and one with the divinity that he doesn't even hear King Parikshit. King Parikshit again asks him, oh sage, I'm very, very thirsty, can you please give me some water to quench my thirst? The sage still doesn't answer because he is lost in the contemplation of the Lord. Parikshit gets furious. He looks around and he says, how dare he be so insolent towards the king of this land? And he looks around and he sees a dead snake. He picks it up with his bow, puts it around the stage, and he goes away. Of course, there's another story that the sage's son comes and he sees who insulted my father like this, and he goes into his own vision and he sees that King Parikshit has done, and he curses Parikshit, may you die by the bite of the serpent Taksha. Takshaka is one of the most powerful of the serpents. So King Parikshit realizes that later on. That's another story. We'll not go into it. Now, this incident was being depicted by the students. There was one boy who was selected as to play the role of Parikshit. Now, this entire episode constituted perhaps 2.5 minutes of the entire 1 hour drama which we were playing. It's a very small portion. In that, King Parikshit's role was just for half a minute. But after the drama was over, everyone knows Swami calls all the students, right? And he talks to them, explains to them, tell them what went right, what went wrong, everything. Basically, he just spends time with the students and he praises the students. And if somebody is lucky, he would materialize something as a gift of appreciation for that person. So this time when he came out, he started looking around. There was... So the person who played the role of Krishna and Bhima, Arjuna, these people were the important roles who appeared all through the drama, right? So they all were looking and waiting for Swami to talk to them. Swami ignored all of them. And then he saw the person who played the role of Parikshit. Half a minute, 30 seconds. That's all his role was. Swami told, come here. The moment he came, Swami materialized a ring for him and said, this is for the wonderful acting that you did. Everybody was surprised. Lord Krishna was there all through the drama. He also did a very good job. In fact, we were actually patting ourselves, that we got a perfect person to play the role of Krishna. The fellow was really tall and handsome. And he did a very good job. There was a person who played the role of Yudhishthira. There is a person who played the role of Bhima and Arjuna. Swami didn't give the ring to any one of them, but he called this person. 30 seconds role, that's all. In the hostel, we had an opportunity to ask him what was the thing that he did special. Tears came to our eyes when he told this. The intensity of the feeling with which he did this. He said Parikshit's only role was for 30 seconds in which he had to show that he was parched for water. Right? He was parched for water. He was feeling totally dry and he desperately wanted water. Right? So, and he said, see, this 30 seconds is 30 seconds or less than 1 minute is possibly the only time in my life I will get to play a role in front of Bhagwan. I may possibly never get a chance again. I must give my best. Right? I must give my best to this. And his best, what he did was, because he had to evoke that emotion, the previous day onwards, he stopped drinking water. He stopped drinking water. So by the time actually when he was in front of Bhagwan, Manasa Vacha Karma, he was genuinely parched for water. And that is the feeling which Swami saw. Of course, I'm not recommending all of us go to those extremes, to win Bhagwan's favor. But this boy's was a personal choice. That is not the rule which Bhagwan recommends for everyone. But that was his personal choice. He felt he could do it. He felt that was the best prayer he could offer to Bhagwan in the limited time that he had, because he was sure he's not going to get any other opportunity. He did it. That is bhava. That is what Bhagwan respected. That is what Bhagwan reciprocated too. That ring came because of that. Not the time, not the role. It was the feeling with which this was discharged. So this is the lovely bhava with which whenever we do anything, if this is the kind of a sacred bhava with which we do seva, then it is sure to get the reciprocation from the Lord in some form or the other. There are umpteen number of stories which I can share with you, but for the lack of time, I will not do it. So therefore, it's very, very important that whatever seva that we do, we should not bring in ego into it. I am doing, he is receiving, they are receiving. And Swami, by the way, used to hate the word Daridra Narayanas. Narayana Seva for Daridra Narayanas, I used to tell. Swami used to get literally furious. He said, who is the Daridra Narayana? On one hand, you are calling him Narayana. On the other side, you are telling him Daridra Narayana. How can Narayana ever be Daridra? Daridra, incidentally, in Telugu means wretched. So, Narayana Seva for Daridra Narayana, some scholar in some frame of mind, he coined that word, but there is a gross mistake. Narayana can never be Daridra. Narayana is all auspiciousness. So when we do Narayana Seva, we should actually see the Narayana in us doing the Seva to the Narayana in another person. There is nobody giving here, there is nobody taking here. We are just playing out a role of one giving to one. That's it. So whenever we do any Seva, there should be this feeling of ego, mine, I am giving, he is receiving. Those kind of things should never appear. One lovely incident happened once in the portico once. On Sundays, you know, the boys from the hostels and the primary school students, everybody would come for darshan, and we would all sit in the portico. And sometimes Swami would spend close to an hour just standing there and talking to the primary school kids, you know, pulling their legs or talking to us and, you know, or just playing with us. Many times he would get prasadam and he would start throwing, you know, so that from, you know, he would start from here and he would start throwing to people who are sitting right at the back. And in between, suddenly one hand would pop up and grab it midair. And Swami would say, give it here. And he would take it back and throw it to the person to who it was intended. It was all such a, you know, Leela that was played out, you know, the memorable experiences. Even after 35 years, if I'm telling you this with such intensity, you should imagine how much of an impact it would have had on each one of us. To see that beautiful, lovely game, you know, which Bhagwan used to play in those days. So this happened in the portico on one day. And primary school students also were present. And Swami suddenly came out. These were all impromptu discussions and discourses that would start. Right? And Swami suddenly asked one of the MBA students, what will you give Swami? And this boy got up and said, Swami, everything I have is yours. You can take whatever you want. Swami said, okay. Then Swami asked another person, what will you give Swami? He said, Swami, whatever is given to me is all yours. What can I give to you? I can't give you anything. And he said, okay. Then Swami turned to the other side and looked at a primary school kid, very small, maybe in the 7th class. And Swami said, what will you give Swami? And he said, Swami, nothing. Everybody was stunned. You know, the confidence with which he said nothing was so stunning. Everybody was looking at him and Swami was looking at us, and Swami looked back and he said, see, he said he'll give nothing to Swami. And then we all laughed. And then Swami said, why is it that you don't want to give me anything? Why can't you give me anything? And then Swami said, when everything including I am yours, what is there for me to give you anything? This was a 7th class boy who was speaking. Compare it to the answers which the grown-up PG students had given. Swami patted him and he looked at us and said, learn from him. If you are telling, I am giving you something, I cannot give you anything, all that, that means you still have a clear distinction of I, you, I am giving, you are receiving. See, if you have this kind of a distinction in you, there is a massive ego between you and me. As long as that ego is standing there, anything you want to do to me or give to me or talk to me is just not going to reach me. It's going to hit that wall of ego. Remove that ego. So that is the implication which Swami used to give, that powerful emphasis which Bhagavan used to place on why ego should never be a part of our spiritual journey. We need to give it up as quickly as possible. Another lovely incident I remember about how much Swami used to keep cautioning us against allowing ego to come up to us. There was one devotee, once again this happened in Kodaikanal, I remember. Bhagavan, he would always come and tell Bhagavan, I surrender to you. Swami, I surrender to you. Swami, I surrender to you. Swami would patiently hear him, and one day he thought it's enough. And Swami said, what do you plan surrendering to me? Do your eyes obey your command? They don't. They will look everywhere except where you want them to look. Is your mouth in your control? No. You have no control on the words that you speak. Are your ears under your control? No. You want them to hear bhajans, but they will hear everything else except bhajans. When nothing of your own senses is yours, in your control, what are you going to surrender to me? So this is very, very deep impact, which we need to ponder about. What was Bhagavan trying to imply over here? First, we have to gain control on our own senses. Then we become eligible to even offer ourselves to Bhagavan. If our own senses are not listening to us, they are not in our control, we have no mastery over them, what are we exactly going to surrender to Bhagavan? It's a very deep question. But is it an impossible task to keep our senses under control? No, that is what sadhana is all about. And if sadhana is not prescribed, if sadhana is prescribed, it means people, the great souls who prescribed sadhanas, knew that humanly it is possible to do it. We just have to summon the courage, we just have to summon the willpower to do it at different stages. We cannot straight away say this is an impossible task and stay away. That's accepting defeat even before we have taken the first step. We have to begin. At some point of time, we have to begin. And if we begin, definitely it will happen. So, and the fourth one is smara nityam anityatam. Smara nityam anityatam. That means think, contemplate on the anitya, the one that is permanent. All the time. 24/7, keep thinking of the Divine Almighty. The only thing that's permanent is the divinity. So keep thinking 24/7 about this permanent entity which created this temporary entity all around you. A very lovely experience happened in Tri Vrindavan once regarding this very thing. And Swami said, see, you must always think about God 24/7. Make an effort to keep thinking about God wherever you are. And Swami was saying that always think about God and nothing else. And so Swami said, any questions? And one of the boys said, Swami, the hostel schedule, if you see, is so packed. Early morning, there is a bell at 5 o'clock. We get up. Just as we think, okay, there is a bell at 5:30 announcing Suprabhatam is beginning. 6 o'clock, there's a bell once again asking us to go for jogging and yoga. Right? 7 o'clock, there's again a bell asking us to come for breakfast. 8 o'clock, there's again a bell telling us to stand in line and go to the college. 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock, again we have classes. 12 to 1, there is lunch. 1 o'clock, again classes. 3 o'clock, again we come back, have tea, run to the mandir for darshan and bhajan. Night, again we have study hours. So I'm doing all this jam-packed schedule. Where is the time to think of God? And then Swami said, who told you you don't have time to think about God? You have 24 hours precisely. This then followed a master class in elucidation about how to think of 24 hours bar 7 about God despite our busy schedule. So I didn't want to miss it. That's why I've made notes over here. First he said, when you get up in the morning, think that God is waking you up. Get up with sincerity and offer the day to Him. When you perform your ablutions and bath, think that you're cleaning the temple of God so that He can reside in it. When you have your food, take it like you have offered it to God as Naivedyam and God is gifted back to you as Prasadam. Eat it. When you study, think that Mother Saraswati herself is standing there. Think of Swami as your teacher, is teaching you. Learn lessons from me. When you play, play with fairness and love. Just like how you would play if Swami had selected you in his team. And when you go to sleep, think that you are sleeping with your head on my lap and I am singing a lullaby for you to go to sleep peacefully. Swami said, when so many opportunities are there for you to think about God, why do you complain that there is no time in 24 hours? You have sufficient time. in this experience, loves a beautiful analogy in the sense that that is a lesson for us. Every step that we take, we can always associate it with something related to God. And that itself becomes dhyana. That itself becomes our japam. That itself becomes our homam. Because at every step when we start thinking about God, He is always with us. And when He is always with us, we don't have to again specially call Him out and ask for anything that we want. This is what we call namasmarana. Bhagavan says many times namasmarana is 24/7 thinking and chanting God's name. How? I cannot forget everything and sit and say Rama, 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 Rama. I can go on chanting, no need. When I'm driving, let me see that the person who is next to me is in either car, Swami is overtaking me. Let's mutter Sai Ram. And this is a lesson for me, incidentally. I must admit very humbly, in India, when I drive, I curse. And this is my sadhana, I swear, number one sadhana according to me, not to curse. Because, correlated to what I said before, environment. I know that as long as I keep cursing, Swami will keep sending all kind of stupid people in front of me to disturb me while I'm driving. He'll do it. Because I know he's a master at this. The day I stop cursing, none of these people will come. Or rather, I will not feel their presence. One of them will happen. So it is very important for us that Namasmaran is there. Because if I'm chanting, let us say, Krishna's name or Rama's name, I cannot curse at the same moment. So this becomes a sadhana for me. I'm sharing it because that's what I'm trying to do right now. So this is what happens beautifully. And most importantly, there is one experience I wish to share with you wherein, because of this Namasmaran, when I almost lost my life, I got saved even without calling Bhagavan. I didn't specifically tell Swami, I got saved. When I was the dean of IIIT at Basar, I used to finish my activity. Saturday and Sunday would be a holiday. So on Friday night, I would finish all the activities, conduct all the meetings, and instruct my staff what has to be done. And on Friday, I would have my dinner, and around 10:30 in the night, I would start for Hyderabad, which is a clear 3.5 hours drive away. So I used to drive in the night at 10:30, primarily because, this kind of stupid people would not appear on the road. They will all be sleeping peacefully. You don't have buffaloes coming on the road, and they will also be sleeping. So it's a peaceful drive. So I used to switch on Swami's bhajans. And in case, I'm feeling sleepy, I used to switch on faster bhajans of Swami. But most of the time it would be bhajans. Of course, sometimes it may happen that I need other songs to really cure my sleep. But the fact remains that 90% of the time it was Radio Sai that I would be listening to. And I was listening and going. And of course, my mother and my wife would be terrified because I'm driving in the night on the highway. They would say, see, why do you have to start in the night? Because, God knows what happens on the roads in India in the night. But I would find it very peaceful and nice, so I would drive like this. So once it so happened that when I was in the road, it was around 11:45, close to midnight, there was a very sharp banking on the road, and I was at around 110 or 120. And suddenly from the other side, a very heavy car lost control. I think it must have burst its tire or what it is, I don't know. It came, hit the divider, went over me, about to come over me. Now I'll tell you the distance. I was here, and the car was going just near that mic arrangement is there, or the first row, maximum. It hit the divider and jumped this side just at that distance. I was at 110. There is no way I would have survived. So I just said Sai Ram and I left the steering. What happened after that, I don't know, but that was described by the truck driver who was following me. But when I suddenly opened my eyes, I came to my senses, I discovered that there was nobody in front of me. I took the car, parked it on the side, quickly got down to check on those people. That car then the truck driver behind was more concerned about me. He said, did you know what happened? I said, what? That heavy car had flipped, gone over my car and gone into the embankment on the other side. You can call it that fellow is at a top speed or whatever else you call, but the truck driver said it was almost like somebody had lifted it and thrown it there. Then we ran, and so of course, unfortunately those 4 people had died. The crash was too much. But that is when I realized that when the Namasmaran, I was listening to the bhajans and I was singing along. That's all I was doing. I didn't even call out to Swami. I wanted to tell Sai Ram, but I'm 100% sure I didn't say Sai Ram. Because my mind had gone numb. So Namasmaran is very important. Why Smaranityam Anityatam is important? Because when you keep chanting God's name all the time, number one, we cannot do anything wrong because we feel the presence of God next to us. Number two, because He is next to us, He will save us even if we fail to call Him. So it's a very important power which we have in our hands in this Kali age, and that is Namasmarana. Smaranityam Anityatam. That means all the time keep thinking about God and God's Leelas. So at the end of all this, what happens? Once we go to Tyaja Jujjana Samsargam, Bhaju Sadhu Samagamam, Kuru Punya Mahoratrim, Smaranityam Anityatam, what happens at the end? We get the pleasure of Bhagwan himself telling us that we are his own. I still remember once, somebody would go around telling Swami, I'm Swami's student, I'm Swami's student. Swami said, he is not my student. He is a university student. There's a distinction. If I am a student of the university, I am not Swami's student. But if I am a student of Swami, I am everything, not just the university. So it's a wonderful thing what Swami used to tell. That is, if we get the feeling that Swami accepts us and he says, you are my own, we will never stumble in our journey of life. So it's very important for us to get that boon from Bhagwan that we are his. Once that boon comes, then we will never stumble. We will always win. Any number of times that we fall, we will successfully get up and proceed on our journey. I would like to conclude with one very lovely story which Miss Geeta Ram had told once. I found that story very, very important for all of us. It's a wonderful narration. Miss Geeta Ram's family was an old-time devotee of Bhagwan in the sense that, Swami would come to their house. She is Dr. Padmanabhan's daughter. Those of you who would know who characters I'm referring to. Swami would come to their house regularly. And whenever Swami would come to their house, the kids would all be bundled into one room for obvious reasons. And there, they would be given games and toys and told, just don't come out of the room. And Swami would be moving around with the elders over here. But Swami loves kids. And one day what happened was when the kids were busy playing, Swami opened the door and walked into the kids' room. They're all busy playing and some of them were playing snakes and ladders. Snakes and ladders, all of us know, right? So they were playing that. The Swami came and asked, what are you playing? He said, Swami, snakes and ladders. Shall I also play? They said, no, Swami, whenever you play, you only win. And Swami said, no, I'll play normally. Swami himself was very young. And he started playing, and then as they were playing, there were elders also there, obviously that followed Swami. Swami gave a fantastic lesson based on that snakes and ladder game. He said, you see this game, snakes and ladders. There are ladders, there are also snakes. So when you roll a dice, sometimes you go to a ladder, you rise up. Sometimes when you roll a dice, you go to a snake and you come down, right? So this game is going up, coming down, going up, coming down. But if you have the dice and keep on rolling the dice, one day you will definitely reach the goal. Swami said, life is ups and downs like this only. But as long as you have the gift of God in your hand, one day you will definitely win the game of life. So having the gift of God in our hand is exactly what I'm referring to here. We need to come to the stage where God says, you are my own. We can declare at the top of the roofs, that we are his devotees. It makes no difference. Bhagwan has to say that he is my devotee. Bhagwan has to say that he is mine, she is mine. Only then it makes sense. Otherwise, we reap absolutely no benefits whatsoever. So this is a very important lesson that I would like to share with you all.
Om Jai Jagadish Hare Swami Satya Sai Hare Bhakta Jana Samrashaka Bhakta Jana Samrashaka Bhakti Maheshwara Om Jai Jagadish Hare Shashi Bhagana Shri Kara Sarva Pranapade Swami Sarva Pranapade Ashrita Kalpaladika जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय।
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ